Hi guys, and welcome to a brand new Death Note Netflix update podcast where we're going to be updating you because a lot of stuff has been going down regarding the brand new Death Note film that's going to be coming out on August 25th. Q and I did one podcast together earlier about this movie and everything we knew about it, but more information has come out, and therefore Q is here, and we're going to break it all down. How's it going, buddy?
It's going good, man. Oh boy, dude, yesterday we recorded a podcast just the other day, and we were going to basically that was going to be our podcast for like the new information, and we thought not much else had come out, but apparently just this morning when I woke up, I happened to check my YouTube feed and I saw a trailer for for Death Note. Like a brand new trailer. Like, you guys can check this out. It's in the description or it's on the video, whatever Jaian decides to do. It's on his channel. So basically, we've got a new, we've officially seen more of Ryuk. We've got like a full image. Like, he's still in shadow, but at the same time, we actually see him moving in the trailer, and I am so excited to talk about what we've got today. So go ahead, Jaian, take it away. How do we start today?
Okay, we have a couple of topics to hit on because other than the trailer, there was more information before that came out, and I think we're gonna go through it very quickly, and we're gonna save dessert for last and talk about the trailer. But let's blow through this first stuff. So the first bit of information that came out was that the Death Note director tweeted out that the visual effects shots were done for the Death Note movie. This came out a couple of days ago. So, Kyo, you being the artist, the drawer, the animator, you really know like what visual effects are. Can you maybe sum up very quickly, like, what does that mean? Like, when a movie finishes all its visual effects shots, that usually means what? Like, everything's been filmed? Are they layering more stuff? Like, what's going on?
Basically, at this point, if he's saying that they've finished VFX, that means that they're pretty much they're in a stage where it's almost time to start post-production. And post-production is when they put the video together. They do ADR, like have people add what's the word? Have people dub over old lines, like say that they didn't get a line perfectly right, and they just want somebody to voice over themselves, and just technically they dub themselves in a way, but. Basically, what you're looking at here is he's saying that the visual effects shots are ready to go, and the clips that we've seen of Ryuk and the explosions and other stuff like that, they've all been added, and they basically have they've got a little folder filled with all the footage that they need and that they edited and everything, and now they're putting it together. They're making little tweaks and touches, and they're getting close to a point where they can release it. So basically, they're just telling us that Death Note is just around the corner. So we've got literally about a month, and August 25th, right? Yeah, so that's basically what we're getting out of this. Essentially, he's just telling us that the movie's almost ready to go.
The second article that came out was one by comicbook.com, and it was saying that the Netflix's Death Note director debunked the film rumors and Dragon Ball Evolution comparison. So, for the people who don't remember this, Dragon Ball Evolution was the most horrible rendition of a Dragon Ball piece of work. It just
essentially is the lowest bar of entertainment that anime fans have. So essentially, yeah. So it's for those who do remember, I'm pretty sure most people, it's still fresh in our minds. Avatar: The Last Airbender, the movie, was absolutely horrid, and it just basically it was like that, but worse.
It was the worst live action of adaptation of an anime movie I ever saw. So a lot of people were worried, oh, is this movie gonna be like Dragon Ball Evolution? And people were once again going back a little bit to the whitewashing about it. The director defended that and said, quote, "There is no conspiracy to remove Japanese culture from Death Note. It is a fresh version of the story set in Seattle. Also see The Departed. When moving the setting of Death Note to America, we of course made the movie about America. It's not just a copy and paste version here."
There you go.
Is what he said. So what do you make of that when he says that, Kyo?
like also not like just excluding like anything from the featurette that he put out not long ago. He's clearly aware of Dragon Ball Evolution. So
Yes.
this guy's obviously an anime fan. Therefore, he knows about the darker side of Hollywood and anime, because Hollywood has Hollywood's always trying to cash in. Like, everybody knows that Hollywood is just there to make money, and essentially what that means is they'll put out anything that they think will make money. So they think that, like, they thought Avatar: The Last Airbender would make money. It made money,
Yes.
but it did not make enough money. It did not make its money back. It didn't get a sequel. It didn't get any sequels at all. So it completely flopped. And so, like, the common concern is that it'll be horrible and try to pander to a larger range of an audience. Yeah, it's clear that that this guy knows that there's garbage out there. Like, Hollywood has tried to cash in on this before, and he understands that we're afraid that this is another cash in. But, like, something I always like to keep in mind is that Netflix is not trying to cash in. Like,
No,
Netflix
Okay.
actually gives
I
a
see what you
shit
mean.
about the people who are watching their programs. Like, we know that Netflix is like an independent company, so they're obviously going to care about the viewers, because that's how they make their money. They make their money from the fees that they take from people, so that way they have the service, and then they also make money off of the views that the videos get, or the films get.
And then more into this article, the direct Adam continued by saying, actors for quote, actors for Death Note were all picked based on the new version of these characters. They are
Yes.
different than the original characters, especially Light. And he continued to say, quote, in an early interview, I mentioned Death Note having gore, nudity, and swearing. None of it is gratuitous or the focus point of the film. What I was trying to illustrate is we weren't being forced into making a watered Dragon Ball PG cheese fest.
Okay,
So,
yeah, this
it's basically
like,
what you're saying.
Yeah, essentially, like, pretty much just go back to what I said before. Like, this guy is clearly listening. He clearly cares. He's obviously a fan. I think I seriously believe that Death Note fans are just paranoid, because, like, we all know that Hollywood will try to cash in on whatever it can get. And, like, the previous version was going to be directed by the director of Iron Man 3, and it was going to have Zac Efron, Robert Pattinson, and it was going to be made by Warner Brothers. Like, big names, big companies, and it was just going to flop. But, like, this guy actually cares, basically, is what I'm saying.
Also, over on Twitter, there's this at Ryuk Twitter account that's been twinning up a storm, Kyo, and some very, very interesting tweets came out of this. One was asking at Adam Wingard, the director, obviously, can we get a little peek, something to look forward to? Can we get a little something? And so, what we got, the first thing we got here was this poster of the Death Note movie, and it was a poster of Ryuk. So when I first saw this poster, I was like, oh, this looks amazing. Oh my god. I sent it over to you, and you tell me right away, dude, it looks like a CG head on a human body. So that kind of like took all of the air out of my sails, and I kind of got really worried. I was like, oh no, like this is gonna be like not as good as I thought it would be. Ryuk, and obviously in Death Note, has like bendy arms and bendy legs, and is like a very cool design. I was like, oh, they're taking so much away from it. Like, they're not gonna do it properly. But the trailer came out today,
Yes.
and it's not. It's completely the opposite. What was your take on that entire situation?
All right, so like when we looked at the poster just the other day, we were. I was honestly a little concerned about how it was going to look, because it looked to me like, if you look at the poster, I'm sure like Jaian will include a link to it or something, but or he'll just show it here, whatever.
Yeah.
So, what I had pointed out the first time around was that the body is obviously somebody in a costume, and we joked yesterday that it looked like a Green Day album, like for Crap! I don't remember like what the joke.
Boulevard of Broken Ryuk.
I walk a lonely road, the only apple I have ever known. Yeah.
Don't want to be a Death Note idiot.
That's the director's theme song. I don't want to be a Death Note idiot.
Coming to a Dreamcaster song near you.
I was a little concerned about it because Netflix is a bit of a smaller company, but at the same time, they've still produced really, really impressive works. Like they did the Series of Unfortunate Events as a TV series, and it looked really, really good. Like there was quite a bit of CG in it, but they knew to minimize it to where it was needed, and it seems like. And it seemed like they just did the whole posing for the trailer. Like they just, maybe they just liked the way that the body looked and it seemed to fit. So, it looked okay. It's just like it very much stands out. Like the head feels like it's just like a little a puppet standee or something. Like somebody just pasted it in Photoshop, and the body's real. Like they just couldn't see the head or something. But in the trailer, it looks incredible. Like, we haven't seen him fully, but I have utmost confidence that it's going to look great. Like, once we see him out of the shadows, and, like, they've made it look so realistic, but at the same time, when you do something CG, you know that it's going to look fake, and it's going to look, you're going to know that you're looking at a computer-generated creature. But in this case, I think that it'll fit. It'll make sense for Ryuk to look CG, and because he's a very cartoonish type of character. Like his design is very unique, and he's more of he's a very unique monster in the sense that he's lean. Like his shapes are very I guess simplistic is the word, but it's really articulate and very. I keep using unique. I'm trying not to use the same word twice.
Oh, come on, relax. It's all good.
So basically, I just want to say, like, I absolutely love this look for Ryuk. Like, there's also somewhere they released a picture of Ryuk. It's still shadowy. It's driving me crazy that we can't see like him full, like in his full glory. But I totally understand the technique that they're going for, because this is a technique that movies used back in the 90s, like the idea of like not showing the monster like until the movie comes out.
And then you watch Batman vs Superman, and you get to look at Doomsday, and you cry yourself to sleep. Sorry. All right, back to our Death Notes.
This is not comic book podcasters, ma'am.
Right? Okay. Talking about with Ryuk, we got design. We have so much about Ryuk. Ryuk is everywhere. Are we gonna see Rem in this movie?
Oh, dude.
Mia's in it. Mia Sutton is in it.
Or Mia, whatever. She's in it, but it's just like I don't know if she's actually gonna be in there, because it seems like there are some characters in the anime that they can't really fit into like a 2.5 hour movie. Like, I don't know how long the movie's going to be. Nobody knows how long it's going to be. But at the same time, like, the general standard is, like, people will put out, like, 2-hour movies because they think, like, they need lots of content and, like, just, like, make things as complicated as possible. But it seems like they're simplifying it to just the story that we know of. Like, it's just going to be, Light finds the Death Note, he meets Ryuk, he meets Mia, and then they go on their spree. And then, like, then we get to, like, the cat and mouse sort of deal, and then maybe we're leaving it open for a sequel, or they're gonna just, like, end it there. But it's more likely that it's gonna have a sequel.
Definitely. I really hope we get a sequel.
Yeah.
Because we haven't even seen the movie, and I want a sequel.
Right? So far, it seems that our concerns are mostly laid to rest. Like, between you and me, like I said before we started this podcast, I think our concerns are mostly gone. And we're just now we're just looking forward to the movie. We really just want to see it at this point.
We're going to go through the trailer now.
Yeah.
So if you want to make sure you want to follow along with us, just go on to the Netflix account and type in Death Note official trailer Netflix, and you'll find it. It's the one that's 2 minutes and 17 seconds. We're going to go through it, and we're going to break it down, because I've noticed a couple of things. we see Light, and there's like rain and everything, and someone's getting robbed, and Mia's right behind him. Remember in the first podcast how we mentioned that I feel like Mia and Light are gonna really be a team here, and it's not gonna be like Light using Misa like in the anime.
So it might. So yeah, it might be a bit more of a dynamic. It'll be more of a partnership than it is a puppet master and puppet sort of deal.
Yeah, exactly. And so Light tries to defend Mia here, and then the guy just punches Light and knocks him out. And then next thing he just wakes up on the floor there. I'm pretty sure that dude's getting his name in the Death Note.
Most likely, yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, in the in the anime, you'll excuse like a guy randomly saying his own name, like the rapist guy, or like just the guy with the biker gang.
Right.
Like he gives out his name, and it's just like, okay, that's kind of understandable. He could be an extravagant and very egocentric character. It's quite possible that in this version, Misa or Mia, whatever, I'm just gonna say Misa is like has the eyes, and she's gonna like use that to the advantage of Light, and he'll be like just like, what's his name, and she'll just be like she could just say the name and then he could write it down, so like bam.
I disagree with that because Mia doesn't have REM. How can she make the ideal? We
That's
all
true.
know Ryuk is linked to Light, and unless Light forfeits ownership of the Death Note to Mia, and Mia gets it now, and then asks for the eyes. That's what's gonna happen. But I don't think I'm pretty sure Light's gonna have ownership of the Death Note the entire time.
Fair enough. We'll see how it plays out. It's gonna be interesting to see how the relationship works in a different way, because it's obvious that this is not a. It's obvious that this is more of a partnership.
Yeah, it's going to be way more of a partnership for sure.
Definitely.
And then, so, in the trailer, it says a Netflix film, and we just see Light laying down, and they zoom in into the Apple. Oh, so many Apple references. I wonder why. Why were there so many Apple references? Because someone's coming up. And so we go back to the scene where in the first trailer where the Death Note falls down and Light picks it up, reads the human whose name in this note shall die.
Yeah.
And then that's where Ryuk shows up. And
I
so
like the way that this is shot, and it looks a bit more like we're getting a bit of a cool monster reveal. So that's gonna look so cool in the show. I hope that they're not gonna keep him in shadow the whole time.
Me too. I don't think they will. I really don't think they will.
Honestly, most of his scenes are probably going to take place at night, just to like create mood. But at the same time,
right.
But there are some points in the show where you saw Ryuk in the light, and it was like in the daylight, and it was and it was just like he's just like standing out a lot in there. I don't know what else to say about that, but like, man, I am just so excited for this.
You know what actually kind of pissed me off about this
What's
trailer?
That?
This next coming part where Light goes, oh, so you're a death god. No, you're a god of death. Like, we've always said it like that. We've always said Shinigami. Now you gotta say death god? Like, don't flip around the words like that.
I love the little cartoony drawing
me.
of like Ryuk's face in a freaking Japanese book.
Yeah, like, oh, you're exactly this one. Like, I didn't really understand. Oh, you're the one on page 36. That's basically what it is. He's like, oh my god, I'm in a book, I'm famous.
It's quite possible. This is just an idea. It's possible that it's just like maybe Ryuk was immortal, and since Ryuk is technically immortal as long as he like writes names down on a regular basis, it's possible that like maybe he's revealed himself before, and like he's given out the Death Note to people once before.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. If Ryuk's physical form is very well drawn in this book, that means he's been to Earth before and has given the Death Note to somebody else, and that person most likely drew him.
Either that, or they're just going to go the lazy route and make all Shinigami look like Ryuk.
Oh, I really don't
I'm sure that they won't. I'm just making the joke.
Oh, some people are going to believe you now.
Yeah, there's going to be those people.
And then Light asks Ryuk what exactly happens when I uses this Death Note, and then so Ryuk's just like, well, write someone's name and then you'll see what happens. So obviously, some people are gonna get their name written in this, and then this is where the action comes in. There's explosions. I told you there was gonna be explosions, Keo.
I was just
told
hoping
you.
that there wouldn't be. Honestly, like I was just.
I
like,
told you. I'm like, this isn't an American movie. There's no way we're not going without explosions here. It's like, well, the visual effects, I'm not sure. Like, yeah, I guess it could
just
work.
Just keep Michael's dick.
I told you.
Just keep Michael Bay's dick out of this, and then I'll be fine. Just like I'm fine as long as it's just like there's no scenes where like freaking Misa is like posing on a fucking motorcycle or like he's just like talking like a nervous idiot. I don't care. Just don't make it a Michael Bay movie. That's all I ask of you.
Did you if I were you, I wouldn't go on the IMDb in that case because he is working on the movie.
What?
Yeah.
You better be fucking with me. I'm going to IMDb.
I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I was ready
Sorry,
to hurt you,
that's
man. I was
temptation.
ready to hurt you, like straight across from the other side of the planet.
Right? This girl gets hit by a police car. I thought the police were meant to protect. So unless like Light writes down, police officer gets in a van and hits blah 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 in the back.
American movie.
Right?
Everybody gets run over by the police in American movies.
Oh man! And then we got Light and Mia in a library looking at each other, and Light literally just not caring, just holding the death note out in public, just like that, right there, right in the public school area. Yeah. Oh, I got a death note. Oh, look. Oh yeah. Right. Want to write down your name? Come over here, buddy. Like 100%. Mia and like this is what's gonna happen. I'll tell you exactly how it goes down. I'm willing to bet that first fight in the beginning of the trailer makes them like work together and like Mia, because like Light maybe had like a schoolboy crush on her, and then like he sees her like being like getting beat up, so he protects her, and from that point on they're like working together. So Light shows her the death note, and like Mia's not an idiot in this movie. I feel like Mia's a smart girl in this movie, and she's gonna help out.
Yeah, she's not gonna
become the.
She's not gonna be manipulated as much. I think it's more so gonna be like we said before. It's more so gonna be a partnership as opposed to the controlling relationship.
It's going to be a partnership 100%. 100%.
And I am 100% down to see a different way that can be done.
Definitely. I mean, literally, Light and Mia look so, like, evil together. Like, there's the next scene where, like, there's, like, all those candle lights saying Kira, and they're, like, and then we just see, like, the same lighting, and they're looking at it. Like, they're all, like, happy. Like, yes, this is happening. Like, yeah, definitely a partnership. Definitely a duo here. There's no doubt about it. And then, they're saying, like, oh, we can change the world. We can make it happen. And from that point is where, like, L comes in. Keith Stanfield, if I'm not mistaken, that's his last name. So. Yeah, and so over 400 people have been killed so far, and like by this like super what was the word, like I guess like it's unbelievable. 400 people have all died, but like random causes of death. Some are heart attacks, some are this, some are that. So like someone's playing God on planet Earth, which is. Do you remember that first trailer when we saw like Elle walking into the room and it said "Justice for Kira" spray painted? Okay, well, apparently it says here in the trailer, it says Tokyo Cartel Massacre. So a Tokyo Cartel Massacre, Light Yagami is a part of that.
Yes.
What can we make of that? What do you think? Breaking news, it says KBFN2, Seattle. There's even a thing saying Seattle weather. What?
Is the broadcast just rain?
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, it says look like cloudy. But anyway,
well, hey. Our summers are fucking nice, dude.
Our winters are better.
What?
So, like a Tokyo Cartel Massacre, I guess Light gets involved in like drug cartels. Is that what's happening?
No. I think it's another like I think it might be one of those specific Death Note deaths where he plays around and realizes like, okay, I can do other stuff. I can control them up until the point of death.
Oh, you mean like when he was like in the anime when he does like he makes that one prisoner do the pentagram on the wall, exactly. Or he makes that one prisoner write a note. El, do you know Gods of Death love apples? Or the guy who runs to the bathroom because he wanted to make him go to Paris, France.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's crazy. That's really crazy. I think you're right. I think you're right on that one though. That makes a lot of sense.
So like it's quite possible that he wrote down like maybe somebody walks in with their gun and just like starts shooting up all the I don't know, all the people that are inside of the room, and then just has like, and last survivor writes Kira is justice, or justice is Kira, whatever.
Yeah, justice
Yes.
for Kira. Yeah. After that, just more of L. So he's saying like, oh, this guy's got like some omnipotent force, and we just see Light just walking away, I guess from a church, and then it says Kira saves on the church, and he's like all proud of himself, like he's looking really cocky. I think Light was a very cocky, like, oh, looks like I win near, like, you know what I mean? Like he's had some his very cocky moments in the anime, and I feel like they kept that element in this movie.
I think they really have. Like this is obviously a very a bit of a different type of character, but at the same time, it's still L, but it's a different interpretation of the same character. So we might get a bit of. I'm just kind of hoping that we don't have like a Sherlock type of character, like the Benedict Cumberbatch version of Sherlock, like on the BBC show. I'm just hoping that we don't have like a character who's so detached from human emotion and. Just like talks really fast, very antisocial, that sort of thing. It seems that this guy is very willing to work face to face with the police and the just like law enforcement. And it's and if we go a little further into the trailer, we see him sitting in a chair in the L pose. I don't know about you, but I don't know about you, but I kind of fangasmed when I saw it. I was like, "Oh my god, he's in the pose!"
At least they kept that, and I mean, so they're like 100% convinced that like the what's happening here is because of a person. And the next thing we just see Mia is writing in the Death Note, buddy. Mia's writing in the Death Note, and there's like Ryuk right behind her, or like this with Light there, and like and he's looking down, and I feel like Ryuk is like that shadow like in the back is Ryuk just looking at them.
Yeah,
and then like it's like a running scene, and we see there's even like someone getting tased. Like Mia works with Light 100%. Like this is confirmed. Like 100%. Like they're working together here.
I'm totally fine with that. I really want to see how that goes. Like it's just going to be
same.
So fascinating to see a different way that they can make this still work. Like they don't have to have like a completely manipulative character. They can have like we can have a little more humanity from this character. We could get like a little more sympathy out of him, possibly.
Definitely. And another thing I saw right after that is L and Light sitting down together at a coffee shop table where it's raining outside, and L tells Light, "You're the one who flew into the sun." I don't know what to make of that. Can you make anything of that?
Basically, that's a reference to the story of Icarus, the boy who flew too close to the sun.
He's basically, you're the one who's trying to play like a god.
Yes, exactly.
What he's saying is what he's saying, and then he says, I'm here just to make sure that you're one who burns. So he's like, like the confrontation here is definitely here.
Yeah, it definitely feels like we've got the a little bit of heat between these two characters. I mean, I know some of these lines are a little bit out of context, and like they might They might do something a little different from what we're expecting. So he might not know that he's Kira, or maybe like he just doesn't have enough evidence to prove that he is Kira. Maybe he just has like in the anime, maybe he has just the logic that leads to it, and like he keeps eliminating the possibility, but at the same time, in the back of L's head, he's always thinking Light has got to be Kira.
From after that, we get a scene with Light and Mia looking at each other, and they say, "We're not the good guys anymore." Because at first, remember, Light was trying to be the good guy, and killing only criminals, but then he starts killing like people he's like who gets in his way.
Yeah. Like I said, maybe there's more sympathy here. Like maybe he's gonna be less crazy than or like he's gonna be less insane than the Light from the anime. So he could be like I said, maybe he's more sympathetic.
Definitely. And then we get that famous Ferris wheel scene where like the Ferris wheel is falling apart, and then Light's holding on to Mia, and then we see a body fall in the water. So I think Mia falls.
Yeah, I think she does. I think it looks like that we've got the long hair flowing in the water there. We could be.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know who it is yet, but it's a pretty good prediction.
Yeah, so Mia falls, and I mean the rest is just big action scenes like cars and gunshots and L walking.
Couple more shots of Ryuk trying to soak up our desire to want to see him in full.
Always gotta tease us, right, guys?
Right?
You can't not tease us. Oh man,
dude, if I see this film for nothing else, I just want to see Ryuk. Like,
I completely agree.
Like,
with you,
no joke. At this point, it's just like I'm just waiting to see Ryuk.
After all that, we just see L on the phone with Light saying, "I promise you will not survive." And Light's just like looking very serious, and then he smashes on the phone, and there's candy everywhere. I was like, "Okay, at least."
Yep, he's got to like eat the candy. Like that's his way of intaking stuff. Like he just has to eat consistent sugar, and then he's got to burn it off by sitting in that pose. Which actually it does. It doesn't necessarily help you burn calories, but it does help keep you awake, I should say.
Right. So, I mean, we're pretty much done this trailer. Like, just people falling off buildings and people walking in crowds and calm music.
Yeah.
And, like, Light just thinks he's a god.
Yes.
That's the trailer. But, Kyo.
Yes.
We did some research and we took some screenshots and we got names of people written in the Death Note.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Please, go ahead.
Let's go
I have
through these.
horrible eyesight.
And very interesting. I'm gonna try to make out what I can here, but like it's in very like a small italic writing.
Yeah.
I could definitely one page I could make out. He says it says Kenny decapitation, like Kenny Doyle decapitation.
Oh, okay. So I thought it said just the first name.
Yeah, no, Kenny Doyle decapitation.
Okay, so it does say the full name.
Yeah, Kenny Doyle is the name here, the first name written down, and decapitation, if I'm not mistaken, is the when you cut off someone's head, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well,
I mean,
in the trailer,
dude, you're French. Your ancestors invented the guillotine.
They did. Yeah, they did. But it's interesting because in one of the action scenes, we saw a van coming, and then it stopped, and there was a ladder on the roof of the van, and the ladder just went straight out and just decapitated the guy. So Kenny Doyle is the guy who dies in the trailer.
Good eye,
Does that make sense?
Good eye for detail. Seriously.
Yeah. I watched this trailer a couple times, so I'm picking up on stuff.
I just watched it the one time, and I watched along with you, like while you were talking. So.
yeah, for sure.
I'm not as
Anthony's
not as thorough as Jaian here.
Anthony Scomball stabs self with knife. So Light's like, "Oh yeah, just stab yourself with a knife." Then we got James Brode exits without harmways. I can't make that last word. It's like HARMIGIS. I don't know.
Huh.
Armor or something.
Something
I don't know.
like that.
Maybe
maybe it's a guy who like gets his arms broken off in a like I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe his arms break off like during a workout or something. Who knows?
There was more to the death here. It says Host Age steps into traffic where he is struck and killed.
Huh.
So, I'm sorry, but like you just need to write where he's struck. You don't need to be right and killed. Like it's the Death Note. You don't and he dies. Like he's going to die. You already wrote his name down.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's kind of stupid to write and killed. Like just to make sure this Death Note works out, we're gonna write down the whole thing and then and killed.
It's not an essay, dude. You don't have to explain your reasoning.
And then Jan Huang electrocution. Poor Jan Huang. And I don't know why, but then we get like an Abdul ad something, and then it says lots of grenade. Eats a grenade. Oh my God, eats a grenade. That's an E, not an L. Holy crap, eats a grenade. He wrote down eats a grenade as the cause of death. Wow, that's so whacked out, dude.
They said it was going to be darker. I am so down for this, dude.
Oh my God. And then on the other thing, like a couple, I can make out the words rock death or hack death, but the screenshot quality is very low. So that's all I can make out of that. And then the other screen. So the left page, I really can't make out anything here. But the right page, I think it says like knife description or something.
Huh.
And I couldn't really make. Can you make out any of those words there?
Man, that's like the hardest part to read right now.
I mean, I can't make. Can you make anything? Can you make out anything out of that entire thing?
I really can't read a dang thing out of that, man. Like, it's just...
No, me neither, guys. Sorry.
Man, sorry, guys.
And
like,
then,
you can... I'm sure you guys can, like, take the screenshots yourselves, and you guys will just come to your own conclusions. Leave us some theories if you've got any.
Yeah, for sure. And then there was this last screenshot I took, Kyo. I'm gonna send that one to you right now.
He dies.
It says he dies, and it's once again. You don't need to write down he dies. It's the death note. And he not only does he write down he dies, he underlines it twice.
Like, hey, Death Note, pay attention to this part specifically. Death Note. Oh my God.
I know, right? And October. I think the October. It's OCTOB. October. All I can think is October.
Maybe he's writing down the date on which he dies.
Right. I forget what the rule was specifically, but I feel like it was like a fairly long period of time that you can basically make someone die before like their planned death. You know what I mean? Because remember, there was one point in the Death Note anime where Light would write down like a bunch of people's names ahead of time, and then and Ryuk's like, "Why would you do that?" He's like, "Well, if I get hospitalized or something, like, and the death stops coming, like that would just stop happening. That would be just very suspicious." And he's like, "So you're sure I can make someone die at this time, if it's before like their predetermined like lifespan?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, you can do that as long as it's behind your before their date of death." So yeah,
I have a slight theory. Like maybe there's a point in the film where Light and Misa are like just hanging out in his room, and they're just coming up with really messed up ways of like making these criminals die.
Right. No, I agree with you. I definitely think that's
like they could just get really creative with it and just be really, I don't know, it could be really messed up, but like that's just a concept that they might have played with. I don't know. We'll see.
Definitely. I have a theory. I think someone eats a grenade in this movie. I feel like someone's gonna order a nice good burger at a dine-in and then just eats a grenade instead.
That's just Burger King.
Our burgers are explosively good.
God damn it.
There was this there was this featurette, and there's this so we start seeing like what's going on here, and there's like commentary saying like how like he's excited how Adam's excited to work on the movie and everything, and then we get a scene here of some guy just like collapsing, like he's eating and he collapses and he just spits out like this big chunk of blood, huge chunk of blood. And Adam's just explaining like, oh, this movie's about how like what happens when you give the ultimate power to a person,
pretty much to the wrong person, as it were.
Yeah, and then oh my God, there's another screenshot of people's name being written down. But this time it's just a bunch of people's names. There's not there's like even the cause of death.
Okay.
This like little featurette doesn't have much to it, honestly. It's just like the people saying, "Oh, people freak," like Mia saying, like, "Oh, people freak out when I'm telling them like I'm gonna work on Death Note," or any Adam. It's like, "Oh, we grew up watching anime." I feel like this video is just one big reassurance.
In a way, but like honestly, it's kind of nice to hear that this guy actually grew up with it, because like with Avatar: The Last Airbender, the guy who directed the film, he watched it with his children, and so like that was supposedly a reassurance, but at the same time, it's just like the product that we came out with was not wasn't any good. But with this guy, like we actually feel like this guy actually cares about like what he's working on. Like, aside from this featurette, it already seemed like there's a lot of passion in this project. I'm
kind of worried here because the next scene, 36 seconds in, is like Mia looking at Light through, and there's like a fence between them. He's sitting down, and he's got a book and a pen, and he's writing down. And this is happening at school. I really hope he's not holding a death note and writing down in the middle of public. I really hope that's not what's happening.
It's all right, man. It's all right.
That's basically what this featurette's saying. We just seeing like the same scenes from the trailer and just more commentary about like how this movie means a lot to Adam, and how like if there was one movie I was meant to like make an adaptation of, it's a Death Note. This is my calling. The guy is really talking like this is going to be a good movie. So he's really putting the bar up there. Like, man, I really hope you can back up what you're saying is what I'm saying right now.
Like he's like last thing that he says in the video is like, I hope that the fans like it, and that's something that most directors will commonly say if they're making an adaptation. But with this, he clearly knows that there are probably going to be some people who don't like it, but at the same time, he obviously knows that the fans are the ones that matter the most here.
Definitely. I guess one last scene that like just kind of pops up. It's like Light walking in like this dark, like we saw in the trailer. He was like walking towards this like castle looking place, and then like I think he's inside at this point. He's got a flashlight, and then the next thing that happens is he just writes down decapitation. We'll see what happens. And there's also like an eaten apple that Light sees in his room. I think what happens is that he sees an eaten apple. He's like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I have a strong. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes.
And that's basically the featurette, guys. That's basically the trailer.
That's basically all that they've given us today. Like in the past 2 days, we've gotten like at least 4 different things to talk about, and I was actually surprised that we had so much to talk about today, because like just yesterday we tried doing a podcast and we had just like 2 little things to talk about, or like 3 little things to talk about actually, and like this comes out today and it's just like, oh my god, we actually have something to talk about. Like, we have a lot to cover over this, and I am seriously excited at this point to see the movie. So pretty much we're just waiting on the movie to come out at this point. So, dude, I'm just excited altogether, just flat out excited.
Me too. Man, and then like the little synopsis says, intoxicated by the power of a supernatural notebook, a young man begins killing those he deems unworthy of life based on the famous Japanese manga. All right, he's going to cleanse the world, Kyo.
The movie?
Here we go. And he's going to make sure they die by writing down he dies.
Just like, I'm just picturing him like just writing down in the Death Note, everyone dies except me.
And then Ryuk takes the Death Note at the end and goes, Light Yagami, he dies. You don't eat, Light Yagami eats a grenade, and just so you know, he dies. Oh, bad. All right, I think that's going to do it. Any final thoughts, Kyo?
No, I think I've said more than plenty, because this has been a fun little podcast and just stuff to talk about. I am seriously just waiting for the movie, and I just want to be able to just stand in front of somebody and say, we have a good anime movie out here now. Like,
same, man.
Oh,
all right.
Dude.
For me, final thoughts. I really hope this is gonna be a good movie. I have a good feeling now. More stuff's coming out. I'm getting a better feeling about this. So yeah, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We might post another podcast updating you on what's going out, probably, because there's still a bit of time before the movie
depends
comes
entirely
out.
on
Definitely
what it depends entirely on what comes out. Like, if we get like a couple more articles or such, and just like we find something that we really want to discuss.
Exactly. Kyo, where can people find you online?
You can find me on, take a guess. Oh, I'm sorry. You can only find me on Twitter, DeviantArt, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, all over the place. You can find me everywhere. I will give you links someday. Basically, you guys can just find me at GoProKyo on Twitter, or you guys can follow my channel, Daydreamer Studios or GoProKyo, and you can follow Jaian right here on this channel. Please do.
And
please follow this guy. I like his stuff. I do the stuff. I draw his stuff. Do more stuff.
Yeah, and then he writes down on my channel banner, he dies. No. So if you guys enjoy eating grenades, make sure to subscribe to my channel. If you don't enjoy eating grenades, you can subscribe as well. We'll still accept your time here. So thank you guys so much for checking out this podcast. And if you guys like these kind of anime discussions, I also have a series called Anime Podcasters. I do with a co-host called Yuki. It's a really cool podcast. And so yeah, guys, peace out. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to check out this video, I do a cool series right here. Check out this awesome video, and if you're an awesome fan, you can also pledge to my Patreon, which is always very appreciated. I produce videos every single week, so make sure to hit that beautiful subscribe button and the bell. Bye, guys.